Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the May 8th meeting of the Iowa Community Theater Association Board of Directors. It's good to see all of you. I'm glad you all made it on to the meeting. And so we'll get called to order here as people are still getting logged in. Before we get too deep into our work today, I'd like to welcome our new board members and welcome our returning board members back. The only new member on the call so far today is Miriam Kenning. Miriam Kenning hails to us from Southeast Iowa. And Miriam, why don't you give folks a rundown of what you're up to these days?
Okay. Not much. No, no, a lot. To be perfectly honest, the most wonderful thing that's just happened is that after a year and a half, we got to see family in Minneapolis, and that was great. And also have been in some discussions with theater people here about the type. This was the interesting conversation, the type of show that might be a welcomer to community members with, being outside and being able to do kind of a fun show that they would enjoy kind of in a different way. And I thought that was a neat idea. So that's what I'm up to.
Well, welcome to the Board of Directors. And it may behoove us if you would all maybe turn your cameras on, and we'll just run down and introduce ourselves and where we're from and what we do currently with the board, if you're able. I'll start. Jason Paul, I'm with ICTA. I don't have a home theater currently, but most of my work in the recent history was at the Des Moines Playhouse. Lighting in the Kate Goldman Children's Theater. I've been on the board since 2012, however many years that is. Not as long as many of you, but longer than some. I'm currently serving at my third year as president of the board of directors, and really enjoy the work that this organization does, and I'm looking forward to our flower blooming as things start to reopen here in 2021. I'll just run people down the order I see them on the screen. So we'll go Molly, David, Tracy, please.
Okay, hi, I'm Molly Ketchum. I don't really have a home theater right now. I've been involved with the Boone Community Theater. Also, I am part of a old-time radio show group through the Des Moines Playhouse. And my partner RJ and I do a lot of performing on weekends during the Ren Fair season and festival season. So we keep busy doing that kind of stuff.
I'm David Kilpatrick. I'm the executive director with the Des Moines Community Playhouse, and the radio show is going to be performing in July 29th, I think is the date. If you ever want to come see, it's going to be outdoor tent theater, so it's going to be a fun experience. And I am department chair, committee chair for marketing for the ICTA, and I also work, I'm Cheryl's right-hand assistant, pointing her and responding to whatever she needs from me in terms of event planning. So that's me.
Okay, I suppose that's me now. My name's Tracy. I'm in Clarinda, Iowa, but I work through the Wilson and Red Oak and with the Swittig Theater in Shenandoah. So I guess I kind of call Swittig my home. They're starting to finally do a little bit of some theater there. I am not participating at this point yet, but soon, hopefully. And I guess I keep busy right now, mainly building our family-oriented Halloween attraction in Sidney, Iowa. We're gathering supplies to build walls and fences right now, and trying to get permits and things like that to landscape the property, and doing everything we can to be open by this October. So I guess that's it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Molly, David, and Tracy. Next, we'll do Louise, John, Cheryl.
Hi, I'm Louine Getter. I'm with Webster City Community Theater. I'm not an official part of the board, but I am the editor of the ICTA newsletter, the Spotlight Center Stage. I don't know which one it is. I do too many. We are planning on doing pop-up theater outdoors this summer in June, July, and August. So Miriam, we can talk.
Yeah.
We had 2 of those last summer and it was great fun. It was very successful. And we're hoping to open September 10th with 110 stories, Cheryl. So I may be contacting you as well. It's the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So we're doing a tribute there and hopefully it will be indoors. That's it for me.
I'm John Olson. I live in Shenandoah, Iowa. My home theater is the Wilson Performing Arts Center in Red Oak. We aren't doing a whole lot of theater in Red Oak at this time. We're going to try to do some cabaret style shows this summer, possibly out in the parking lot, on our back deck, or socially distanced inside. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I was in a one-man show that was supposed to perform last April. And so we're hoping to maybe get to do that in February. That's our tentative date to be able to put that show on. So we'll see. Fingers crossed, who knows? But life is definitely crazy in my house. We adopted our son last August, and then we're going to be adopting again this summer at some point. Uriah has been living with us since January, so we hopefully will get to adopt him sometime in July or August. So we went from 0 kids to 3 kids in the last 2 years, and they're aged 8, 8, and 9. So it's definitely crazy in our house right now.
Well, I think I'm next. I'm Cheryl Clark. And John, I have to insert here that when we were pregnant with our 3rd daughter, people told us it's like going from one-on-one to zone defense. So yeah. Anyway, I live in Des Moines. I have been in this part of Iowa for about 10 years now. Before that, I was more north central. I am part of the Ankeny Community Theater now, but also am involved with many of the metro ones, Urbandale, to be specific, Tallgrass and Playhouse, and Iowa Stage. So lots of different theaters. And I am events chair for the board. I think I've been on since 2016 or 17, can't remember. But I do know that we've planned together with an awesome committee, 2 conventions that have been canceled. So looking very much forward to our 3rd opportunity to have that convention in 2022. That's me.
Thank you, Louine, John, and Cheryl. Last but not least, we'll do the last 3 folks here on the list. Tammy, just so you know, we're doing introductions so that Miriam can get to know us a little bit better. Name, location, theater involvement, forward involvement, things like that. So we'll do Tammy, Mel, Pam, and Gerard, please.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. I'm Tammy Spizzetto, and I live in Collins, Iowa. And I've served on the boards of several theaters. Currently, the only board I'm serving on is Iowa Community Theater Association. Yay! I am involved in a brand new theater opportunity called Crossfade Productions. The concept of Crossfade is that the lights come down in one area and come back up in another. And so we're putting on some shows that can be brought up in event centers and venues, places where people don't generally have access to theater. But the theater group that we audition for and produce will then take the show from where we started it and take it to other locations in the area. So I'm really excited about that. We just closed our first performance last weekend, and I serve as the secretary. So if I have questions, sorry, I'm trying to get the notes done. So
Thanks, Tammy. Mel and Pam. Are you still with us, Mel?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because we don't have a picture, so that's good though. I'm with the Newton Community Theater. Right now, I am the secretary of the board, and I have been for probably the last 4 years, 5 years probably. We've been busy at the theater. We had 4 shows last year. Jekyll and Hyde was the one that came in March. We got 1 weekend and then we didn't, it was done. But we did 3 other shows after that. And our slate for shows this year, we did Choices, and that was a Karen Schaefer production. And then right now they're getting ready to do Dinner with Friends. And then we're going to do 110 Stories in September. And we will open on September 11th, the same day that it actually happened. So we're kind of planning on doing something special for that performance. And then we're doing something for Christmas. Really not sure what we're doing. It kind of depends on how things are going. We were going to do the Disney Christmas Carol. And if we don't do that, then we're just going to do like maybe just do a bunch of Christmas carols and things along that line. So that's what I've been doing. I've been on the board for I don't know how long, and I'm happy to get back on it again. And I'm also the chairman of the membership committee, and also on the awards committee too. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn it over to Pam.
Pam, we can't hear you. Can you turn the microphone towards you, please?
How's that?
Much better,
Oh.
thank you.
Dang, now I got to start over. Okay. My name is Pam Ratliff. My home theater is Newton Community Theater. And I was on the board there, but I will be going off in June. And so this will be the only board I'm on. And mostly I just do lights for Newton Community Theater if I do anything at all. And Mel already gave you the slate, and that's really about it. Oh, and I am on the I'm on the awards committee. Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Mel and Pam. And Gerard, if you're available, if you'd like to introduce yourself, that'd be great. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Gerard. I am the treasurer for the ICTA. I apologize. You can probably hear the raindrops in the background. I'm driving to my son's soccer game in Johnston. It wasn't raining in Cedar Rapids when I left, and it's a downpour here. So it's going to be an interesting little soccer game.
Yes,
I've been on the ice. Go ahead.
it's definitely raining here in Des Moines.
Any idea as to how long it's going to continue?
Through tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they say
Oh.
tomorrow morning.
Okay, so I'll probably get the text message that I drove over here for 2 hours to have it canceled. Yay. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I've been on the ICTA board for a number of years, not sure how many. Currently not serving on any other theater boards, trying to be a patron to the 5 theaters in Cedar Rapids. That's it.
Thank you, Gerard. And it was nice to hear from everyone and what everyone's up to, especially as the world starts to crawl out of its COVID cocoon, as I heard it described on public radio the other day. So welcome to Miriam. Welcome to all of you. It's great to be back in the ICTA seat. Next up on our agenda, I'll share our agenda here. One moment, please. Ta-da. Today, we're going to look at the strategic plan. That review will be brief, but I'll also cover the meat and potatoes of the plan so that everyone has that refreshed in their minds. We'll go through our other procedural business. We received no reports from committees, but you are welcome to share 2 or 3 lines about what your committee is up to or planning to do, as well as we do have one item of new business on the Theater Relief Fund distributions, as the email in the board packet today indicated. Is there any other items for the agenda today that anyone has? Quiet group. We're all ready to be done with the meeting already. Neat. Okay, so next up, we'll do our strategic plan review. I'll go ahead and pull that up for folks. Some of us are newer to the board, so I'll just walk through the plan in general, and then I'll zoom in so we get a good look at what we're trying to do here. So in November of 2019, the board gathered for a 1.5-day retreat with a consultant, Rick Brimmeyer of Brimmeyer Consulting, LLC, out of Ames, to develop a strategic plan for our organization over the next 5 years. We did put that item on hold, so this will be targeting 2025 now. We put it on hold in 2020 due to the pandemic. So as you see on the map, we have initiatives, resources, metrics, objectives, and strategies. So all of these things interconnect where you see the X's and O's, and we track each time that we meet where we are on those initiatives. So the initiatives for those who may be driving or on the road is to create a prodigy non-voting youth membership on the board, considering youth theater in all of our relationships and initiatives, conducting regional workshops on diversity and creating new theaters, sponsoring underrepresented groups to present at festival and convention, IDing high school associations that focus on the arts and align them with certain board members. We've moved our newsletter frequency from quarterly to monthly, and we're a little softer on that right now due to the pandemic. Creating an ICTA electronic forum for people to interact with each other online, creating a swap page for people to get rid of theater stuff or find theater stuff, aligning our board members with non-member theaters to foster those relationships, offering 2 to 3 regional workshops semi-annually, maintaining our quarterly touch points with our assigned theaters, attending a theater board meeting. This is one of our assigned theaters, and sharing our strategic plan, naming a liaison for each member theater, establishing Iowa regions, aligning board members with those member theaters in those regions. And then finally, our objectives below are to increase our theater membership from 33 member theaters to 50, individual memberships from 23 to 75, business memberships from 1 to 10, growing our convention participation by 25%, growing our festival participation by 25%, increase the percent of our member theaters submitting performances for review. This is our Awards of Excellence reviews, from 65% to 90%, and increasing the number of recognized performances in the AACT festival system to 10 entries at our state competition, 8 regional awards, having at least 1 national entry and 2 national awards, and then increasing our impressions in our marketing collateral by 50% from where they are. So that being said, we'll need to reassign some resources because some folks have left the board and some folks are joining us now. And yes, Miriam, the strategic plan is available in our Google Drive that you have access to the meeting packet folder, but you will be getting access here to everything soon. It's on my list of things to get did. Okay, so we will breeze through the review part of this since about half the folks with responsibilities are not with us today for various reasons. Okay. Let's see. We'll start with Prodigy memberships. Tammy, have we gone anywhere with that?
I'm sorry, no progress.
Okay. So would you rate that green or yellow? Or red? And you're muted, Tammy.
I think it should be yellow because it's really difficult at this time to say that it's red because nobody can really contact or nobody's
I'd agree with that.
doing
Sure,
anything.
that's great. Okay, considering youth theater and all of our relationships, we'll put that in as yellow as well. Cheryl Clark, regional workshops and sponsoring underrepresented groups.
No progress. No.
No, we
Okay,
made progress. We just can't do it, but we still made
Yes.
progress.
Yes, we had things planned for convention that
Okay.
related to those, but we didn't get to have a convention.
Right.
all right, well, we'll color them green for now because we did make progress. Aaron's not here. He shared that is on target. Our newsletter frequency is as frequent as it can be at this time. Electronic forums and swap pages, all of the technology is ready to go. It just needs to fold into our larger branding. Yeah.
Who's gonna take Cheryl's place on the newsletter?
So that goal was just to get the frequency changed, and I think we're set there in terms of being as frequent as we can. But if you would like, Loeen, a direct liaison with the board, we can get that set up for you. Oh, that would be David.
Yep, I'll be your liaison for you.
And just for clarification, there used to be another Cheryl on the board.
Yeah.
If that sounds confusing, it was Cheryl Z, and she went off. So
She retired after many years on the board to do many other things, including taking care of grandchildren, which she's very much looking forward to.
So David,
Yes.
You agreed to be the new liaison for the newsletter, is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, David, you are? Okay, good.
Okay, next is aligning board members with non-member theaters and fostering that relationship. Tammy, that's yours. Are we off target there because of the pandemic still?
We are definitely off target, but what would help me greatly is if, so we have our regions assigned, and
Sure.
I would like to see, maybe to help other goals as well, a text list of the member theaters within each of those regions. If we could assemble that, I think that might help move some of these other goals forward as in addition to mine. Is that possible?
Sure, we can work together with Cheryl Clark and get that knocked out. Cheryl and Tammy, can we set up a meeting outside of this meeting to run through that stuff?
absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay, 2 to 3 workshops regionally, semi-annually. Cheryl Clark.
No activity on that exactly, but we are hoping that the last half of the year, the last 6 months of the year, we could do that, have a regional workshop in each region. And Tammy's suggestion that we put a list together of member theaters so we can, that would help us move forward with that goal as well.
Fantastic. Gerard, maintaining quarterly touch points with our members. Have you done any work there?
I'm sorry. I was talking on mute. No, I have not. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. And Miriam, yes, we do have a list of our member theaters, and we do have a list of theaters in Iowa that are non-members. That's on our website, iowatheaters.org/theaters. And we'll be putting together that region list as well as we move through this. If you're interested in participating in that work, we'd love to include you in the meeting with Cheryl, Tammy, and I. Next up, oh, sorry, I'm walking on somebody.
Jason,
Yeah,
is there a map that's available that shows the regions and who's responsible for each one?
we do have a map, and I will have to dig it up here in just a second, and then I'll screen share it for
Okay.
folks. We'll come back to that after we hit the last 3 bullets here. Mel, have we done anything with coordinating with member theaters, showing up and sharing a plan? I don't believe so.
No, have not, gotta wait until they get
Okay.
open, and then it's easier to do it in person, I think, than
Sure.
it would be to do it over the phone or anything.
Sure. Next, we have naming liaisons for each member theater. I'm going to guess there's no progress on this. Gerard, is that correct?
That is correct.
And then we have Iowa regions, and we need to get folks aligned. So we're greenish yellow. John, do you want to make that green or yellow today?
Yellow, please. And
Okay.
if you have that map, can you send me a copy? Because I don't have that map.
Sure. Let me just dig here for a second. One moment, please. I'm just doing a quick search here, see if I can find it. Strategy map, I don't know where it is. Hold on. Is it in the ICTA? Give me 1 second here, folks. Thanks for your patience. I'm going to stop sharing here for a moment because we're done with the strategy map, which I will update in our file share here. I'm going to search my email because I believe it got sent to someone at some point. Here we go. And get back to Zoom. So if you can see the map on my screen here, let me make it a little bit bigger for folks. This was the breakdown that we had did a year and a half ago in terms of kind of aligning based on our member theaters and where we had theaters and where we didn't. So this shows those regions. I'll make sure that that goes out, gets into the file share so that folks can access that.
Ooh.
Just 1 second. All right, and then I will also close current tab, stop sharing. All right. And just 1 second here. It's going to be in the chat window momentarily. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's get back on agenda here. Thank you, folks, for bearing with that strategic plan review. And so next up, we will cover the minutes from our February meeting. Tammy, you have the floor, which I will share here with folks. If there are any questions, additions, or corrections. It's typographical. Did anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes from our February meeting? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 2021 Board of Directors meeting for ICTA.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Tracy will give. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Are there any additional additions or corrections to the minutes?
I saw David second it, but who did you call the second?
David moved,
Okay.
and I thought I saw a hand from Tracy for the second. Yep, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Seeing no additional discussion, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of approving the February 13, 2021 meeting minutes for the ICTA Board of Directors signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the treasurer's report. Gerard, is there a specific document you'd like me to share, or do you just want to talk through things?
Well, why don't you just go ahead and share the balance sheet income statement? And basically, there's not a whole lot of anything that's different or unique.
So here we have the balance sheet. Currently 14,000 in the bank, 39.5 in our investments. We have a handful of liabilities, which are cash deferments. And there's our equity. We're in good shape.
Gerard, do we
Yeah.
have a plan to spend the 0.00001% that we're making on our savings?
Um,
Little
No, the
treacherous
balance-
joke there.
Again, if we want to invest more money, we can definitely do that. Interest rates at the bank are just god awful, so we're getting
yeah.
almost nothing at the bank. But if we want to start investing again, the market is very hot right now. I would lean against that. I'm also reluctant to invest in buying new bonds. Could definitely try and find some that are matured, but those will have a higher rate, but have a higher cost to them right now.
Right.
Open to whatever the board would like me to do.
Okay, next is our profit and loss statement. Looks like we've had some memberships come in this first half of the year. And everything looks to be in the black. Good shape there. Any additional questions for Gerard? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion.
David moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Cheryl Clark has the second. Any further discussion about the treasurer's report? Seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All those in favor of accepting the treasurer's report for May 2021 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you, Gerard. Next,
Jason?
yes, Tammy.
Since I'm using the old notes to create the new notes, I just realized that normal actually moved to approve at the last meeting. So I'm going to change that to Norman with everyone's approval.
Sure thing. And I think Aaron's name was also misspelled in the list of folks that were present. So those minor typographical errors are correctable without major business. So thanks for catching that, Tammy.
Well, I think we could all agree that Norman is normal. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Compared to some of the rest of us, I think you're right, David. Okay, moving along. Next up is the president's report. I'll try to keep this short and sweet. We have entered our new operational year. While our fiscal year operates January to December, we kind of operate post-convention to the next convention as a board of directors. And so I've got some things I'd like to clean up and improve, both in internal record keeping as well as on our website. So I will be sending out 2 forms to you. Some of you that have been on the board a while will remember our conflict of interest form from a couple years ago. I'm going to do that electronically this year via our Google Forms so that we don't have to push a bunch of paper around the state. And then I'll also be sending out an information form so that we can get the right list of emails. You can include a bio for the website and a new or improved headshot for the website. Some of us don't have headshots and some of us have headshots when we were a completely different person. So look for those forms to come out here this week, just so that our record keeping is correct for all of us. I saw this morning that a couple of people had requested access to the drive, the shared drive, from emails that I didn't recognize. And I think, David, I got one from you during the meeting. But so whatever email you would like to receive your board information and communication through, please make sure that is on the info form that comes out here directly, and you'll be able to upload a headshot and everything right to that. So other than that, I'm looking forward to theater starting to open up. There's a lot of things starting to happen in central Iowa, I know, but I've also seen a lot of things going on in other places. Norman's unable to join us today because their children's theater is opening a matinee this afternoon. So that's really exciting for them. I know that the Playhouse has been busy doing lots and lots of things, and other theaters in the region as well. So hopefully wherever you are in Iowa, you'll be able, as the weather continues to get nicer, catch a little live theater wherever you can. And I hope that perhaps in the back half of the year, we will be able to regather to meet again at some point in the future. Okay. And then let's see, are there any questions for me? Okay, seeing none. Thank you all. And we will move on to committee reports. Awards. John, do you have anything for us today? Nope.
There we go.
Okay.
It wouldn't go on mute.
Oh.
No, nothing to report. Well, you know, as theaters reopen, we'll just have to reevaluate. But my guess is we probably won't be reviewing shows until 2022, but we'll have to make that decision as theaters do reopen if we are going to accept and go out and do reviews at the second half of this year.
Yep, the motion that we had made before was to not hold those in 2021. So
right,
that's where we are. Any questions for John and the awards committee? Okay, thank you, John and the awards committee. Next up, events, Cheryl Clark.
Nothing to report, no activity.
All right, thank you. Institutional review needs to come off of the agenda because we have put that baby to bed. And so we will move on then to marketing. David, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, marketing did meet and explored some logo concepts and ideas, and then my personal life interfered dramatically and things got put on hold, but it will be reactivated very soon. We'll be gathering again with some logo ideas and be able to present at the next board meeting a couple of suggestions, although there's a really strong suggestion out there left over from a couple of years ago. So we probably will find ourselves using that one, but we will have new logos so that we can get a new brand so that we can spread the word and be as active as our new theaters.
Any questions for David? Thank you, David, and the work of your committee. We're looking forward to seeing those new logos. Thank you. Next up, membership, Mel. And Mel, you've muted yourself.
Okay, nothing to report.
All right, thank you. Next up, nominations. That committee typically isn't active until the back half of the year and is comprised of those folks who are in the second year of their 3-year term. I have to look at where folks' terms are, and I will email that committee to let them know who they are. Making a note for myself. Okay, that covers committee reports. Next up, organizational business. Is there any old business from the floor today? Yeah, David.
Can we just, and this may not be the place, and if it's not, cut me off, but this concept of reviewing that we've agreed we weren't going to do, and I do know we agreed to that, but I'm wondering if we had some approach to consider how we can respond, or if we could open ourselves up to not official reviews, but unofficial reviews or unofficial responses or some connection, so that we have a good reason to connect with these theaters as board members. Because I hate to go 6 more months without a chance to say, and I know there's something a little more officious when they say, hey, come see us, and we go and then we give them a little summary of our opinion or something like that. I don't know if that's going down a path on a rabbit hole we don't want to go down. And it's just as board members, we just reach out to these theaters and say, I see you're active, I want to see your show. I just bring that to the group as a combination of trying to fulfill strategic plans, marketing connections, and our jobs as board members and reviewers. If this is not the place for this forum, I understand.
Thank you, David. I think that's an important point to raise, particularly as we want to expand into regions. Miriam, I saw that you were wanting to respond.
It just, and I was just thinking about coming to this meeting and all, because there are, it's a big bunch of places in southeastern Iowa, it seems like, but I'm just wondering, is there a way of finding out when their meetings are, or who their president is for their organization, and maybe it's saying something about, I love to get in a car and drive places, you could go maybe to one of their meetings, you could ask if that was okay or not, and explain about ICTA, because I don't think a lot of people have an idea of what is and isn't happening here. I know that sounds, just sort of like, I remember years ago when there was participation, and then it just sort of went away as different nonprofits started doing shows like we did years ago. But I just thought maybe I didn't go to a meeting if that were okay. But I didn't know
Miriam, that's actually.
I just didn't know what you did. Like I'd love to go and meet people that like theater and just explain, or maybe even have a little piece that you could present to them, or a brochure or something.
And that'd
be nice.
Yeah, that is our intent with the aligning board members with regions, that the group of you who are the liaisons for that region could get together and discuss which theaters you want to be kind of have under your own umbrella, and that you would go meet with, say, the president of the board, or even with the board of members, to build that rapport, and also to meet with theaters that are not members, and see what you could do to build that relationship. That personal contact is, I think, critical to building our organization.
Absolutely. Excellent call out, folks. So those strategies in our strategic plan will be getting a lot of use, I think, in the back half here of 2020. Oh, no, 2021 is where we are. Still feels a little 2020. Good topic, David, to bring up, and thank you all for your input there. if there is any additional input or ideas that you might have, connect with the folks who are responsible for the regional stuff, Tammy and Cheryl, and keep David in the loop as well in terms of our marketing. But would make for a great offline conversation. Loeen, yes.
One other old business, at the board meeting after the election, who are the new officers?
They are the same as they were last year. So Helen is vice president, Tammy is secretary, Gerard is treasurer. I'm serving again as president, as well as Cheryl Clark was reelected to chair the events committee.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. Any other old business today? Seeing none, we'll move into new business. Gerard brought forth one item of business via his email, which was to get the Iowa Theater Relief Funds distributed. As we know, people are starting to open up. I would like to see us assemble a team, an ad hoc committee, and that committee then can take that work offline, create a process, and bring it back to the group and get those applications rolling in so we can get the money rolling out. Who would like to serve on that group? Gerard, could I ask you to chair that committee?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
All right, thank you. And who would
Sorry,
like
I was trying to get off mute and couldn't do it.
Nope, that's okay, thank you. Who would like to serve on that ad hoc committee with Gerard?
I would be glad to.
Okay.
But I don't want to take the spot if there's other people who really feel the desire to.
And committee membership is open to all, so please don't hesitate.
Jason, I just have I'm sorry that I have no, I don't apologize.
No, don't
I'm
apologize.
glad to ask questions. Is there an application that's been put together? I mean, what are the types of needs that people would have? That would be my question.
Correct. And that's the job of this committee, is to identify that process for how we select theaters to receive the funds. And I believe it's a limited pool of funds, something to the tune of $2,000 or less, if I remember correctly. So,
Wasn't it in response to whatever floods or derechos or tornadoes that have?
It was in
theaters?
It was in response to the coronavirus, and it was mostly from people diverting their registration from last year's event. Instead of receiving a refund, it went to that fund. They had the option to select that.
And the fund value right now is right around 1,400.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Anybody else want to serve? Okay, great. Thank you, Tracy. Nope. Okay, if anybody else would like to serve on that, please get in touch with Gerard. But I have Gerard chairing an ad hoc committee to determine the process and disbursement timeline for the Iowa Theater Relief Fund. Serving with Gerard will be Cheryl and Tracy. I would like to entertain a motion now for that group to, once they have created the application process, to go ahead and disperse that to our members. Is there a motion?
Well, I would, I'd like to make a different motion.
Absolutely.
First, and I don't know which order because of Robert's rules, but I would like to propose that as we are feeling a little flush in some of our funding because of the nature of where we are, at least is consistent with our treasury reports, I would like to propose that we match whatever's there with just our general operating funds so that it basically doubles the amount of money that the committee has to work with. Is this the place for that proposal?
Absolutely. I'll take that as a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll give that second to Gerard. So to clarify the motion, this would be to match the existing funds in the Theater Relief Fund with general operating funds to essentially double the amount available,
Yes, that's my motion.
which would put us at about $2,800. Is there any discussion on that item? Seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All those in favor of matching the Iowa Theater Relief Fund funds with funds from the general operating fund to double the amount available for theaters in relief, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Okay. Theater Relief Fund folks, you have double what you had 2 minutes ago. And I would also continue to seek a motion to authorize that committee to distribute the funding request as soon as it is developed. Do I have a motion from the floor for that?
Motion to communicate to the theater members as soon as the committee gets the award information put together.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from John. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All those in favor of dispersing the Iowa Theater Relief Fund information and application as soon as it's available from committee signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstention? The motion carries. Okay, go.
Oh, my.
Or were you going to ask for a write-up, Loeen, about that?
I just wanted to, Gerard, if you want to have me help spread the word through MailChimp on the application, let me know.
You were at the top of my head, yes.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you, folks. Okay, we have moved through the slated items of new business. Is there any other new business from the floor today? Yes, David.
Two things. One is I attended the Region 5 meeting for AACT, and it was fascinating. I didn't realize this group only met every other year or every 2 years. It was like, oh, well, no wonder there's kind of, but there was a lot of passion for Region 5 and a lot of disappointment that nobody from Region 5 was selected to be part of the national conference this year. I don't know how many, if anybody submitted from Iowa, that they're aware of. But anyhow, that was the one thing that Region 5 was just a little bit disappointed in for themselves. They were just like, didn't understand the selection process for the national conference.
I'll tag on to that, David. Iowa had 3
Oh, okay.
nominations and Minnesota had 1. Those were the only ones from Region 5.
Yeah.
But we were one of maybe 3 regions that didn't have anyone selected. And one of those regions only had 1 entry.
Yeah, there was just a heavy discussion that they didn't think that was a very transparent process. And they were just disappointed. So I just thought I'd pass that on, that we do have some people thinking of, and they did acknowledge that Iowa did have 3 submissions. So that's a testimony to Iowa. So my
Yes, it
compliments to
is.
the group.
Yes, it is.
Especially since I always, living in Wisconsin, thought Minnesota was like the hot state, but Minnesota could only get together 1 and Iowa got together 3. So I think Iowa's become the new hot state. So anyhow, I just wanted to give a quick little fill in on that, since I know a few other people had said they had thought they might attend or whatnot, but I was like, what the heck, I could sit Zoom, I can do anything. And I enjoyed that. The second thing I'd like to point out for new business, and this only came out because of some discussion about bylaws and came out from some discussions I'm having with regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion in other scenarios, was the concept that Robert's Rules of Order is actually, well, this particular person called it racist, but it was actually, it was much more political than that in terms of very restrictive and very exclusionary, and in terms of a very tight and uninvolved and very prohibitive kind of process. So I just wanted us to kind of explore that a little bit as we're looking at our bylaws in the future and exploring it. Sometimes I know that we can get sometimes we can get a bit bogged down. So I just wanted us to be aware that that was a topic that popped up at a conversation regarding diversity, inclusion, and equity. And I just wanted to pass that on to the group. Because Jason is very good about making sure we do follow our rules of order, which is his job. So anyhow, I just wanted to pass that on.
Thanks for that, David. And if you could share any resources that
Sure.
out of that conversation, that would be good for us to review together.
Yep.
Perhaps institutional review isn't as done with their work as they thought.
Well, you know.
Okay, that's very good. Much appreciated. Is there any other new business from the floor? Seeing none, I would like to remind people of our upcoming dates. August 14th is our next Board of Directors meeting, currently slated to be virtual. And that will be held that second Saturday at noon in August. Following that is the 13th of November will be our board meeting for Q4. And that is the meeting at which we typically review our bout and grant applications, which go out September, October. So stay tuned for that. That being said, and if there is no new business, I would entertain a motion from the floor to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Can't see me.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. Oh, that was a yes, sorry.
Abstentions or surprise no's? Okay, seeing none, the motion passes, folks. We are adjourned at 12:57, perhaps the fastest ICTA meeting I've attended in over 8 years.
I was going to say, whoa.
Who seconded the adjournment, please?
John did. Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
And
And I'm-
your items to